Yo, this is Super Max Hernandez, and you're watching Countdown City WrestleCast. Boom! I got it.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. This guy's laughing on his own thing here. I'm your host, JC. I'm joined this week by Tommy.
What's up, guys?
And Mike.
What's up?
Reminder, of course, follow our Twitter at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. More WrestleCast episodes. Welcome, new subscribers. We broke the 100 mark, guys.
Yes!
Yeah!
Finally!
I feel good.
100.
I feel good that people are watching this.
Yes.
I hope they are. Turn the bell on, get notifications. We try and push this out every week. So.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of friends sitting around talking wrestling. Normally, my wife is here with us. She's not. She's a little under the weather today, but she was very excited for Slammiversary. She's real excited for it this weekend. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the G1 Climax Tournament, which kicks off this weekend. This guy is going to be there. This is like a bucket list item to see New Japan now.
Oh my God, this is totally a bucket list item.
It is. I'm going to say it's a partial bucket list because the real bucket list is for him to go
to Wrestle Kingdom.
I was going to say a little bit cheaper than flying to Japan.
About a couple of thousands.
If you flew to Japan, Lance Hoyt would get your ass back.
That's true. although I have read that they're like quick segue that they're if you're willing to travel a little bit, like you can fly to cheaper airports, just not Tokyo direct. Like Tokyo is the expensive airport.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like if you fly like one of the cheaper airports, you can just like if you're willing to take a train. So I was like, why
not, man?
Because my immediate thought was, I'm from Texas. Driving a long distance or traveling long distance is literally how I get to work. Yeah, I'm in for this. So I'm actually looking to maybe if I can square it up. Who knows? Maybe within a year or two.
One day.
You know,
I expect a live report when you actually do make it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you get there, Lance Hoyt is going to introduce you to Suzuki. Which would be the best and worst moment of your life, probably?
It would be the best because that will be my preferred method of death. Yeah. Because I want to die. Because if I see Suzuki, he's like, I'm going to kill you now. Yeah. Okay. And then on my tombstone, it will say murdered by Minoru Suzuki with a smile on his face.
That's just a picture of you on the grave, like.
Yeah. That's the picture of my body, like what they do for just like. Yeah. Sorry. It's still wrestling related.
Yeah, it is. Now, before we get into that, we are going to recap two great shows this past weekend: Ring of Honor Best in the World and AEW FyterFest.
FyterFest was ridiculous.
Oh yeah. We'll start with Best in the World. First off, this was an interesting pay-per-view.
Yeah.
We said it is kind of the first one since they had some talent leave for AEW,
yep.
WWE, NXT, whatever. So this was kind of a first big pay-per-view for them with this new talent, with this new crop. Not necessarily new, but some of the stars that they've been trying to build up. Can these guys hold a main event? This was a very interesting show. Things that I really enjoyed. First off, Dalton Castle's new attitude.
Yeah.
Not a crazy peacock thing, but
more serious.
No boys. Even using Rush's finisher against his, is it really his brother?
I don't know. I keep hearing
Dragon
that.
Lee,
I keep hearing that. Yes, that's his brother. No, it's not his brother. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Kayfabe, it's his brother. Let's just go with it.
Okay, let's go with that. Yeah.
Kayfabe, it's his brother.
One thing I also did enjoy, Flip Gordon.
Yeah.
That heel turn, man.
That heel turn was shocking.
We were watching it here.
And that was the funny. We were watching it, and JC actually called it, and I was like, "Ooh, is it really? Is it actually Flip?" And I was like, "No way."
As soon as they were running a video, I was like, "We got a new member as well." I was like, "It's Flip Gordon. Just watch." After he had just supposedly joined Lifeblood, so that would have been like the perfect swerve,
and it worked
out. Yeah. Now things we didn't like. Sorry, Mike. I should have gone to you. Did you get to see any of Best in the World? Or?
Oh, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I just kind of read about what happened and saw a lot of different videos online. So.
Any booking decisions that you liked that you can think of offhand that stood out or no?
Kind of look at the matches just real quick.
Sure. So this is
while he's looking. One thing I did like was Maria
Manick's
last week. Maria Manick's debut. That
Maria Manick's debut.
Yeah,
cool.
I follow her on social media. She's great. She's very, very much like bite your head off if you say the wrong thing, and I love that about her. So to see her, in ROH is pretty cool.
Shane Taylor, right? He retained.
Taylor retained.
Yes.
How disappointed with Jeff Cobb. This was interesting.
Yeah.
They were really pushing it. He's undefeated in Ring of Honor.
Right.
And this was his first loss. And it was a quick loss.
It was. The match wasn't. How long was the match?
Not very long.
Yeah, I'm going to see if there's official time on
It didn't even register as like a match of the night nominee for us.
Sadly, no, it didn't.
Well, it actually, I don't know. It kind of makes me wonder if he's going to be spending a little more time in New Japan. And so
That's
possibly.
a good point. I didn't think of that.
He is in the G1.
Right, he's in the G1.
Yeah.
He fits, and not to get too off of ROH, but he fits New Japan so well because they love those big monsters. I know he's not technically American, but he's still
Pacific Islanders, so they have a lot of influence there with
Well, they
Samoans
kind of let the
and
door
whatnot.
open Michael Elkin left the door open when he left. When he left, kind of out of nowhere.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You check how long that match was.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get to it. It wasn't even 10 minutes. It was just short of 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty short for a
Yeah.
championship match,
Yeah.
and I was actually pretty excited for it. But Taven made his first defense. We mentioned Villain Enterprises; they're a great tag team. It was
really
a six-man tag team.
Yeah. PCO is not human.
No, I seriously like.
He's actually not human.
Dude's gonna die in the ring. I swear to God. So
I'm so scared of that day because
Now-
every time he does something, I'm like, oh God. So
a match that they ended up having that we didn't pick because it wasn't announced yet was the finish of the best of 3 series between Kenny King and Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I saw that.
that
Yeah.
was probably one of the best matches I've ever seen Kenny King in.
Yeah, and Kenny King, a little more attitude. Need to work on your lethal injection if you're going to steal Jay Lethal's finish.
I think okay. So I was thinking about this. I think he gets that raw because that's purposefully not his move, and I was
yeah,
like,
that's fine. Although Tina, of course, she's a big Jay Lethal mark. She was like, "Well, Jay Lethal hit Kenny King's finisher better than Kenny King does it." So
I was going to say, we need to talk about that one day on the show.
What?
People who have hit someone else's finishers on them better than the person who actually does it.
there actually have been quite a few.
There have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something to get into.
yeah, that is.
You mentioned Maria Manic after the Allure won. Let's see, the Pure Rules match. We hadn't seen this in years.
No, we hadn't, and it was
Very interesting.
yeah.
Gresham did win, and most of us picked Silas Young to win. A little bit of cheating. Gresham ended up being the one to use some cheating tactics with Red Fans.
That shocked me, and
interesting.
that makes you wonder what's going to happen with that going forward. Like because for one, Silas Young will plead his case. I was saying that, and I was doing that. So
Any good
Perfect.
heel
Sounds
will
just
cheat
like
when they cheat when they can and get upset when they're cheated against.
Yep. Now, things I didn't like, there was a lot. It felt like a lot of run-ins here. And I know Bully Ray's booking this stuff now, supposedly, and he likes run-ins, apparently. We had a few of those.
Yeah, because we had who were they again?
Which ones?
The two black dudes. I can't remember their
Whoa.
name.
Oh.
Hey.
He can say that.
I don't know. Whoever was the beat up Lifeblood, the two dudes with Bully Ray, I can't remember their names. It's like they just.
Oh, I don't remember their names
I
either.
don't remember.
Where are they from? I don't remember.
They've debuted before, but I can never remember their names.
Soldiers of Savagery.
That's right.
There we go. I wrote
Because
it down. That's right.
and they looked like they're good, but like mostly they've just been doing run-ins so far. I'm just like, wrestle a match.
Yeah, they did a run in.
So-
Bully Ray eventually ran in too as
say
part
Bully
of
Ray?
it, and I was like, "What is he running in for? You just get to draw heat?"
Did
I guess?
Enzo and Cass make? No, I'm just kidding.
No. Hey, wow.
I think that kind of hurt them more than they anticipated.
It
Actually,
really did.
It really did, yeah. But props to Cass. I mean, I've said it before on the show. I don't have a lot of respect for him for reasons he got fired. Of course, putting his hands on a woman. I'm happy to hear that he's clean. Apparently, he was dealing with some alcoholic issues, and he's trying to work his way back. Great. Hope you stay clean.
me too.
I've lost a family member to alcoholism. I've known a lot of friends that have gotten sober. So, good luck to you. I hope you do stay clean on it.
Yeah.
Enzo,
DDP Yoga, dude, giving a lot of
DDP
wrestlers
saving lives, man. That's all I will say.
a lot of wrestlers getting second chances, and shoot, after he helped Scott Hall, I was like, wow, he after helping Scott Hall, anyone can be helped. Like,
Imagine if Ric Flair did DDP Yoga, he'd probably live forever.
if Ric Flair
He's
does
already well on his way.
okay, if Ric Flair does DDP Yoga, he's gonna come back to wrestle one last match against, and he'll defeat Brock Lesnar once and for all to be the undisputed.
Come on, it's got to be Sting.
Yeah. With the jump off the top of the cell.
Okay, so
he'll actually hit a move off the
Yeah.
top rope.
see,
for once.
okay, so if Sting and Ric Flair do DDP Yoga for like a year, bet money they'll be at WrestleMania.
main event. Main event.
Main event.
Match
of ROH.
Yeah, right. Match of the night. Villain Enterprises for Lifeblood and PJ Black. 77% picked that as match of the night. Can't disagree with that. It was really good.
There was one moment that I laughed, like of how fan reactions are different depending on who the wrestler is. So when PCL went up for the moonsault, he slipped a bit for a second.
Yeah.
But just for a second, it wasn't like he completely botched it or anything. His foot slipped because first of all, okay, RVD has even said that happens to a lot of guys. Like sometimes the ring ropes are just slippery. But
sweat or anything.
Yeah. But you heard the fans encouraging him to keep going and climb back up. If anybody else had done that, they'd have booted him out of the
if it's some young guy, it's you effed up. If it's some old guy, it's like, oh, you can do it, old man. Because it's kind of messed up.
I know it is, but at the same time, it's PCO. Anyway, yeah, you counted a lot. You had that pass, but yeah, it is kind of messed up.
As far as our results on picks, Tommy and Mike went 4-3, and Tina and myself went 5-2.
That's not too bad. I can live with that.
Yeah.
She didn't blow us out of the water like she usually does.
No.
Yes.
I guess it's I want to say fairly predictable show for the most part.
More or less. I was
Ring of Honor, but
we'll
see where they go from here.
Apparently not. I mean, we were almost 500.
Yeah, we were almost 500. It's true, but some of the big things, I think the biggest surprise obviously was Flip Gordon's heel turn. So I'm interested to see how they run that with Villain Enterprises. So.
Well, Villain Enterprises retaining wasn't that big. Wasn't a shock at all because I think the way that they're building them up as a unit, because I really do think that all this is just to build them up as probably one of the longest reigning 6-man Jack champs, and honestly, I do think they're just building up Marty towards the World Championship sooner or later. I think it's down the line.
Do you know how long his contract is with ROH?
I think it's for 2 more years. So I think this year and next year, I think he's still with them. And you never know, because I know he's still close with those guys with All Elite, but I think about how even Joey Ryan said, "Nah, I think I'm good where I'm at." That wasn't disrespectful. It just he's found his niche with bar wrestling in the indie scene where he can do what he wants.
They got a documentary about him that's being screened at San Diego Comic-Con too. Apparently,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
and Marty could be like, maybe somewhere later down the line we can try this, but right now maybe he could be world champion like multiple places. I mean, he wouldn't be the first guy. He could be like world champion there, PWG. He could do it with with New Japan as be like maybe he could go back and win the friggin' any championship. If Marty goes up for it, he has like a chance of winning it, because even now, last time when he went for the Best Super Juniors, Brody King went with him as like his muscle. So now he could go back again, have the muscle to Villain Enterprises. He could cheat. Who cares? That's literally the name of the group. It's a Villain Enterprises. They cheated to win. And this shocked you because
how long is this working relationship they have with New Japan? Is there a contract on it, or is it just
between ROH and New Japan?
Is it like a handshake agreement? Do they have some sort of contract in place?
I don't know if they have a contract agreement. I just think it's just I think it's just until something gives. Yeah, something gives. Because originally they had it with Noah.
Okay.
And they had I think they had a handshake one their very, very first few years. They had like a handshake one with All Japan, because that's how they got Muda, Satoshi Kojima, and everybody. But at that time, New Japan wasn't really doing business with anybody else at all. I'm wrong. They were doing it with TNA for a couple years. That's what really happened. TNA screwed up with Okada. Right. New Japan broke that deal and went with ROH. That's what really happened. So as long as ROH doesn't screw over any of their guys like TNA did with Okada, I think they're safe.
I think
they're still mad about that. They still won't do business with Impact.
That'll take some time to get over.
They're like, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but I saw something about it, and they're like, why won't you deal with Impact again? They're like, Jeff Jarrett, like, he's not even there.
I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, you're right. Someone said everyone who was remotely in power when Okada was there is gone, and they still won't talk to him.
Yep. He made his. Oh, it's funny. He made his money off Global Wrestling Network, and then that was all gone. So he's good. All right, WrestleCast ratings 0 to 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Tina submitted a rating. Hers was 4.5. She really enjoyed the show. Really hated seeing Lethal lose, which has me wondering if he's going to get some time off, because he's been on the road for so long.
He has been like their franchise dude.
Yeah. So. But she gave it a 4.5. Did enjoy the show. Mike, what's your rating for this?
I'll go 4.25.
Okay.
Again, I didn't get to see the whole thing, but it seemed like a pretty solid show all the way across. Some of the highlights I saw, always really impressive. with some of the guys there. Little upset Jeff Cobb didn't win the championship, but Taven's just started with his title run, so I kind of get that too. And like we said, he may be looking for more time in New Japan. So.
Yeah, but even if Taven had lost, he would not be the first ROH World Champion to have a short title.
Oh
reign.
no, I'm sure.
Low-key and Kyle O'Reilly have something to say about that.
That would just suck because he's been pursuing it for so long.
Rey Mysterio. Oh wait.
Oh wait. Aw.
Rey Mysterio has a whole nother set of grievances that
Right.
that heck even O'Reilly and Loki look at Rey and go, dang, that's messed up right there.
I think Cobb is in a position where he can get back there soon.
Yeah.
Probably after G1. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Tommy, your rating?
4.25 as well. I thought the show was good. A couple of hiccups, like you said, the run-ins, the short main event. But then again, that could have been a timing thing. But no, it was a good show. I've seen stronger, but then again, I've seen a lot worse. So yeah, 4.25.
4.25 for me as well. We're all pretty much on the same wavelength. It was decent show, respectable. Nothing over the top as Ring of Honor stuff is kind of gotten into. I feel like they're still trying to get their feet wet with like a new booking, new direction that they're going. So
I think they and to their credit and defense, I think they save the over the top stuff when they have established reasons to go over the top.
Yeah.
The first ladder war they had was between the Briscoes and Steen and Generico, and that was when these two teams had like done everything, literally everything else. They'd done tables, matches, Falls Count Anywhere, and everything. Ladder War was just like the final, straw to like to settle the feud. Where they do that. They do that with that and cage matches, because even cage matches in ROH, they have to be a big deal. Like their first one, I think. No, this wasn't the first one, but this is the first one that they have for the world title. Was between Samoa Joe and Jay Briscoe. Funny the Briscoes keep coming up when I ever talk about this. But like that was after a series of matches where Jay would almost beat Joe and something would stop him, so they just did that to finally, do that. And then that was a bloodiest affair. If you guys can ever track down that match, I have it on like maybe 5 different DVDs between Jay and Samoa Joe and Steel Cage. It is the bloodiest affair. Like I think Joe was out to kill Jay that night just to make sure he couldn't challenge for the belt anymore.
Sounds like Joe.
Yeah.
Overall rating 4.3125. You mentioned the Briscoes. I know there was like, wait, there was 8 matches. And we only have a pick, 4 and 3, 5 and 2. That match, of course, the Briscoes, Nick Aldis, and Eli Drake replacing Cole Cabana ended up in a no contest. So that's why that one was a result.
So did you hear what happened the next day?
Yeah, I did, and I realized I forgot to put it in the title change sheet. But I don't have the NWA titles on there.
Yeah,
but yeah.
James Storm defeated Cole Cabana in like a short match to win the national championship
for the NWA national championship.
Well,
yeah,
because Cabana.
He couldn't wrestle anyway, so I was like, "What? They're so shady."
Makes me wonder. Yeah, so
he'll be back.
He'll be back, and hopefully
he's
RCW.
Yeah,
against Sean Spears.
Because the way they were talking, the injury wasn't that serious.
Right.
He just couldn't get cleared for best in the world.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was holding a cane while he was doing commentary for the show. So yeah, they did push that a lot. And
so far,
him and James Storm were going back.
And so far, he's still listed for RCW against Sean Spears.
Yeah.
So
should be a good match.
Yeah. Hopefully, Sean doesn't bring a chair.
Evil Sean Spears.
Well, speaking of that,
I thought that was a good segue.
Speaking of that, it's a good segue because we're getting into FyterFest. This was actually kind of fun for me because, Tina and we went to a wedding. Started at 6. I was like, okay, the pre-show starts at 6:30. Thankfully, the actual ceremony lasted all of like 7 minutes. It was a real short ceremony.
Really?
Yeah, it was an outdoor ceremony. Real nice.
A
lot of people were happy it was short. Yeah. First off, congrats to Rudy and his wife Shelby.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I don't know you, but
co-workers of Tina's. Friends of mine, so I became friends with him as well. We talk a little bit about that. He actually went to Antonian, so we like a little Catholic school thing back and forth. Yeah, but yeah, it was a fun wedding. It was a good time. Everyone was happy the ceremony was short because it was outdoors and it was getting a little hot. But thankfully, we got in. Everyone got into the AC afterward, and
short ceremony.
Pre-show started.
Ideas for my wedding.
It was fun. It was loud. Tina and I were there watching on my phone. It was a good show. Things I like. But first of all, I really enjoyed a lot of the video game references. So, two biggest hobbies for me: wrestling and video games. I was already following that weekend because it was CEO, and I enjoyed the pre-show match between Michael Nakazawa and Alex.
That was the weirdest, funniest thing
I've
ever seen.
It was fun for me. It really was. What's up?
Okay, so I made a whole bunch of tweets over the weekend. Because I can't even remember what I was saying, but freaking Excalibur and Jim Ross, on commentary, is the team I never knew I needed until I started listening to them. Oh my god, their back and forth is hilarious, especially since Jim Ross got like none of the video game reference.
Yes,
there was a fun match. Well, first of all, JR didn't do the pre-show match, so he probably would have been lost, but. I forget who was. I think the guy that was commentating is actually a pretty big video game commentator. He does a lot of like Overwatch, things like that. So when he got invited to do this, he was very excited, and he ended up calling the whole night because he was also a wrestling fan. So
nice.
He got into wrestling a lot, wanted to get into commentating because of Jim Ross. Then he got to commentate with one of his heroes, which is a pretty cool moment for him. But he was throwing out video game references left and right during this Jabali match, and it was awesome. Kendo Stick, Samurai Showdown. You had. First of all, Justin Wong, who ended up winning the Samurai Showdown tournament that weekend, handing Alex Jabali an arcade stick. And that sumbitch is heavy.
Yeah.
I know that shit hurt. Kendo Stick, there was a GameCube controller making a Smash Brothers reference. And then, of course, not Legos, not thumbtacks, but arcade buttons. How great is that?
That was actually pretty. I actually marked out kind of hard. I was like, what is happening right now?
And Jabali getting a pyro was hilarious to me.
Yeah,
and he was like, I got a pyro. So, funny guy. He just has fun with. I mean, you can tell this guy when he put it together. He just loves games. He had fun putting this thing together. Getting wrestling to be a part of it, I think he really enjoyed himself.
Okay, so
he's not a wrestler. He has to work on his selling a bit, obviously.
So I will say this: I from a pure wrestling fan standpoint, I'm glad this wasn't on the main show. Just because.
Yeah.
But for a pre-show match with a wrestler and a non-wrestler, this was wildly entertaining.
I gotta be honest. I gotta give him credit. Like,
I
didn't see the entire thing, but what I saw, like, I thought it was gonna be a quick or gimmicky, like. He was doing stuff.
Took a table bump, everything,
Here's what I say about this. The same thing I said about Stephen Amell. Although I will be completely honest, Stephen Amell did a much better job in his first match. But that's
to be fair. Stephen Amell's a way better athlete than Alex Jabali.
Yeah, that's fair. and that's my point. But the thing is with Jabali, there were a couple of miscues and missteps, but they weren't. Like bad.
They weren't bad.
They really weren't. I mean, I you could tell what they worked on and called and everything, but it was like that was pretty good.
It was fun, and the crowd ate it up. The crowd was a mix of video game players, wrestling fans,
and I gotta say, a part of the whole enjoyment too for this whole thing was just the whole gimmick of like making fun of FyterFest. So like I don't know if you saw the talent tweeting during the day, like, oh, I just got here and it's pandemonium and there's no food and there's no water and
I did see that.
They only have cheese sandwiches and like.
Would you watch Being the Elite?
I did see Being the Elite.
A lot of the talent were complaining that their bags hadn't arrived,
but
only half the bags are there. It's like, and they're like, the guys, it's okay. Half the bags, the other bags are coming. Catering's over there, lockers over there. It's first come, first serve, and they started randomly grabbing bags.
And Jungle Boy's on Luchasaurus' shoulders the whole time during this.
Okay, I don't care where that goes. I'm just happy that that's still happening.
I love the whole a boy and his dinosaur.
Yes. Now it's funny, like now, where is this? This is like tag teams out of nowhere. These guys actually were in training school together, and
they
saw
posted
a video.
The picture. Yeah,
they pulled up the picture, and I saw a video of a post press conference with Allie, who was great in her debut, by the way.
Yeah,
first singles one-on-one women's match in AEW history.
Oh yeah, that's
it
right.
It was fun. She and Jungle Boy were taking questions, and Jungle Boy actually, they asked him about his relationship with Luchasaurus. He said he actually met Luchasaurus when he was 10 years old.
Oh wow!
Oh snap!
Yeah, so they've known each other for years, and Allie was very surprised by that too.
No wonder he's this cool with him riding on his shoulders. He's probably been doing it ever since he was a kid.
Allie, by the way, did say if they go for the women's tag belt, she wants to team with Kylie Ray, and I don't think there's a better fit for her too.
So.
Nope, not at all. So
smiling faces, that'd be the name of the
the
smiling face experience.
Yeah.
Gotta get the experience in there.
Yes, got to.
Put experience in.
Got to.
You gotta have experience in the name.
Now, speaking of women's
experience.
Speaking of women's matches, other things I liked: the triple threat, Riho, Yuka Sakazaki, and Nyla Rose.
Okay, so
Mike, great pick by the way. Gotten Riho.
Got it. I knew this match would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I severely underestimated how good that match would be. Wow. I was sitting at home like, First of all, I said this match is still going. Holy crap!
There was a lot of great sequences in there. Like when Riho did like break up one pin and it caused another, she had to break that one up real quick. That one stands out for me.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose catching Riho and then Sakazaki jumping and catching her, and then just
I was gonna say they did a few things where Nyla Rose
just showed off her strength.
Yeah. Took on both of them at the same time.
Yep.
Yuka's affinity for standing right on the top rope, not by a turnbuckle, scared me a few times. But I was like, wow, that chick's got it.
It worked well. Yeah.
I like her gimmick.
Well, yeah, and also talking about triple threats, going back to the pre-show. The tag match was actually really good.
Oh yeah,
it was the opening show of the night. Yeah,
the what were they called? The Private Party.
First time a lot of people getting to see them. They were good.
I think they got the most over in that match, even though Best Friends wound up winning and getting the bye or whatever.
I think they're going to be able to compete for a bye at All Out. I guess. Something like that. Yeah.
But okay, so the main event of the show, and I use that in air quotes, the 6-man tag. First points to the Elite for the Street Fighter attire.
Yes.
I loved
and
that.
the entrance.
Yeah,
yes, the whole thing.
The thing is, Kenny Omega's Akuma gear was supposed to arrive. It wasn't going to get until Monday, so they had to paint the symbol on the back. First off, they made fun of the fan running out in front of Batista on WWE years ago. That's what they were making fun of. I love that the lights go out and the whole Raging Demon thing for Street Fighter 4, and then he's standing over him. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Although
that's pretty cool.
There was one little thing I noticed. Speaking of the lights go out, just made me remember. Again, back to that pre-show match. When is it the Dark Order now?
Yeah, the Dark Order.
The Dark Order.
Like the lights go out, and I think it takes way too long
to come back.
Like. I mean, obviously the lights are off. They got to get them from wherever they're at to come down, and surround the ring, and then disappear. The second time, it just felt like it took way too long. Like you're kind of like, they're still off.
It's production stuff.
Yeah, you got to work on that.
Yeah,
but, just little things.
Yeah, it's still trial and error at this point. Laredo Kid though got the show out.
Laredo Kid, yes, he did. Getting back to the Jabali match, one of the funniest things I heard on commentary, Jabali trained 20 minutes a day on Dance Dance Revolution for this match.
I did hear that. That was so funny. I was like, oh my God.
Pop of the night is easily Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean,
that match was freaking insane.
Yes.
Oh my
definitely.
God. Joey Janela has no sense. I'm convinced he just doesn't.
You know, the tax. And then Moxley went straight to taking his shoes off. I was like, oh, my God. Yeah. That was just...
Oh, and then we were talking about this earlier. Cody and Darby Allin, too.
Yeah.
Dude!
First off, before I say that, the most heat, we predicted it, MJF, obviously.
Yeah.
Dude knows how to run a mic. I used to be in video games, too. And then I lost my virginity. I was like, wow. But, of course...
I was like, oh, we're still going with that joke. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Cody and Darby Allin went to a draw. They kept it at a 20-minute time limit. Great finish. Darby Allin, god dang.
Yeah.
That coffin drop onto the outside. Oh, the hardest part of the ring.
So, at All American Wrestling, AAW in Austin, he wrestled Sami Callihan for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. He did that inside the ring, but he had a trash can over his head at the time.
Oh my God, he's nuts, but he's awesome.
He fell back.
But really good match.
Sammy moved out of it just in time, so it was all Matt. I was like, oh God,
I love putting him in the body bag and then kicking out of it and getting out of it. Like
that was crazy. Even when Cody Irish whipped him in the corner, and then he happened to fly through the top and the middle rope and outside the ring. I was like, Jesus.
Darby Allin is insane. I love the guy.
Now, a moment that everyone is talking about, at least that little sort of controversial, at least that's what everyone's like kind of criticizing AEW for, is the unprotected chair shot, where weird finish, call the draw, say, okay, we're gonna go 5 more minutes. Sean Spears comes out and nails Cody with they're calling it unprotected chair shot because Cody didn't get his hand up. And this, with the whole day and age of concussions, CTE, Jim Ross, of course, was talking about that as well, a lot of commentary. First, the blood thing was scary because you see the chair shot, you see him go down, you cut back, and there's blood already pouring out.
Yeah, you see the hole in his head.
You see it.
The cut.
And it wasn't necessarily from the chair. We find out later, of course, the chair was gimmicked. If you watch it back frame by frame, you can tell it wasn't, supposed to be like a full chair. The problem is the back of the chair, and if you have a back of a folding chair, that went over. If you go frame by frame, went over his head and just happened to cut it. And then 12 staples later, but no concussion, thankfully.
Yeah.
He was fine, but it was a scary moment. But man, that drew a lot of shock and awe from the fans.
Yeah.
And this day and age, independent wrestling fans, smart mark fans as they're called, especially the AEW brand, it's hard to leave them in silence.
Yeah.
And they did that with this because you don't see these unprotected chair shots anymore unless it's PCO.
PCO doesn't count. That's different.
Yeah. So even to the point where MJF came out and looked legit pissed off. They did. I don't know if a lot of people knew this spot was happening backstage.
Yeah.
So
can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
I didn't mind it that much, and here's why. And I'm playing devil's advocate. There is one match I will always refer everyone back to where you see an unprotected chair shot again in this day and age. Final Battle 2010. El Generico versus Kevin Steen. It was the end of their year-long feud. Two
guys that trust each other.
Yeah. That started back in 2009. Literally, it was literally a feud that lasted the entire year. The first 6 months, Generico refused to fight Steen until they finally, had it out, and then they had a non-sanctioned match for Generico's mask or Steen's career. The match ended with only one unprotected chair shot. They had used tables and everything and falling off stuff, but there was only one unprotected chair shot the whole time. So in this day and age of unprotected chair, yes, they're not safe. Yes, we know that. But I think when you do it like the one time that for sure that you're going to do it and that's it, I can let that slide actually, because honestly, to me, as long as you do it in excess, it's no more dangerous.
Old school ECW.
Yeah, I mean, old school ECW, Rocket Mankind is the first thing I always go to. I was like, yeah, and I know everyone says, well, we don't do it anymore. Yeah, but the fact is, it happened.
Yeah,
a lot, and the fact that Big Foley is still sane and with us to this day, thank God. But if he had, died earlier, or something like, God forbid, everyone will be demonizing The Rock.
I think
you
just gave me my 1 minute warning.
Okay.
Unless you want to take it.
Yeah, but that's my.
No. I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you because, well, yeah, I'll talk about that later. Then.
Okay, but that's just my devil's advocate for. But I get where some people are coming from. But honestly, I think that for the effect it was going for, I think it achieved it. And like I said, one shot and they stopped, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're going for the shock value, if you're going for the, I guess we'll call it
this is pro wrestling. It's all shock value.
If we're going for like the Taker losing to Lesnar WrestleMania 30 moment where the fans were just in shock, you got it, right? But yes, my thought was, okay, Cody is smart enough to not take this. He knew he trusted him. I'm sure they take. Initially when I saw it, I was like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of controversy, but maybe the chair was gimmicked. And originally I thought because when you see the chair shot and he's bleeding on the other side of his head, maybe he bladed himself off camera. But
that's what I thought that too.
Yeah, frame by frame you see it. It was just one of those fluke things, but still.
And Jim Cornette sounded off about this, and I don't want to go into it. It's
I don't listen to what Jim Cornette says.
I tried to give him a chance, but every now and again he goes off like that. I'm like, yeah, never mind.
Still, you get a reaction like that where people come out from the locker room. It did its job. So.
Yep, that's true.
Match of the night. I think this goes without saying. John Moxley versus Joey Janela. 58% of the votes got match of the night. So
I can't lie though. That triple threat was my match of the night for a good while until it was my match of the night, and then Cody and Darby challenged it. Then the 6-man tag did, and then the main event just was like wow, amazing. So.
Now, as far as our picks, of course, we had that draw in there. So Tina, not as good a night here, but the one match she got right was Moxley. We all did. 1-7-1, Tommy 2-6-1, Mike 5-3-1, and I went 6-2-1.
And that's only fair because I completely forgot what my picks were as the show went on. I was like, who did I pick? I can't remember anymore.
Now, as far as WrestleCast ratings, Tina gave it a 4.75. She really did enjoy the show. I'll pick last, but Tommy, go ahead.
I'm back and forth, but I will give it a. I'm gonna be troublesome. I'm gonna give it a 4.65.
Okay.
Because it's like I'm right in between a 4.5 and 4.75, so I'm gonna give it my version of down the middle, not hashtag math, and give it 4.65.
It's summer vacation, man.
Yeah, that's true too. So, but like I because I thought the show was a really, really good follow up to Double or Nothing, and really good for a free show. You know, for a free broadcasted show. This was the. I mean, you could have. You could have phoned it in, honestly, and it really wouldn't have been that bad to do so. Because like, it's a free show. Calm down. Before a free show, you really got your money's worth.
Definitely. Mike, you ready?
Man, I'm gonna feel like I'm giving it a low at this point. I thought I was gonna go 4.5.
No, go for it.
I still think I think it was a solid show overall. Again, I'm a little hesitant to go give them a super high grade because I really think once they start having regular television and building 2 pay-per-views with more story behind them, I think in a couple years or maybe in the first year they'll hit that pay-per-view where like, damn, that was
perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was solid. Like you said, you had good action. The stuff at the beginning, it seems to be like in the buy-in part, they'll do a little more kind of funny stuff. But then when they get to the main card, like it's pretty serious and it's good action.
But honestly,
4.5, right?
Yeah, 4.5.
But honestly, I mean, the buy-in is where you want to do a lot of the funny stuff and just let have some fun. You can have some comedy stuff in the actual wrestling part too. But
they did, yeah.
Yeah. But like if you want to do a lot of comedy stuff in the beginning, sure. I mean, honestly, I could watch 10 minutes of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy in the grocery store again, and that could be part of the buy-in, just filming that, because I'd like to see them do that with actual customers.
Hey,
like 3:00 in the afternoon, just shopping around doing that.
R-Truth is the most popular thing on WWE TV right now. So
that's true.
Yeah.
4.5 for me also. I really hope, and now this was like a passion project for Kenny Omega, I hope they do this every year. CEO is once a year. I want to see this. WrestleMania for a while, I had Pete Rose versus Kane. Give me Jabali versus Nakazawa every damn year. I'm sorry. I really did enjoy that.
Next year it'll be like some sort of hardcore video game.
Yeah, dude. Hell, Justin Wong, start training, boy. Get in there.
Wait, actually, now that you say that would be a great series. Just to do it once a year till Michael Nakazawa retires, and then his retirement match is Jabali, I want to face you one last time.
Even the pre-match promo where Nakazawa was like, I was in Vegas and they were talking about Evo, which is a way better tournament.
Dude, that was I was like, bro, yes. He could. And then when he said, "It's my left knee," your left knee.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information.
I mean, great for a free show, and you did this 2 weeks before Fight for the Fallen. Good promo.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the build up on social media. You're making good use of that. Without a weekly TV show, they're still getting great hype, and I think the social media part is happening. They really understand how that works. So, 4.5 for me. Overall, 4.6 for the WrestleCast. Not too shabby. Good weekend of wrestling.
Not too shabby.
Not at all. Now, on to this next weekend. This is a busy summer for wrestling. So, New Japan's G1 Climax Tournament kicks off this Saturday in Dallas. First time ever this is taking place outside of Japan.
The opener. Yeah, actually, no, the whole tournament.
The whole tournament, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that is pretty historic, and we're getting it in Dallas, Texas. Well, we're in San Antonio, but Dallas is getting it. This guy's going, of course. We mentioned a couple weeks back the blocks. Block A, Lance Archer, Evil, Bad Luck Fale, Kota Ibushi, Kenta, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Block B is Jeff Cobb, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Jon Moxley, Tetsuya Naito, Juice Robinson, Taichi, Shingo Takagi, Jay White, and Toru Yano.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
So the tournament runs July 6th through August 12th. It's going to take place over multiple nights. And essentially how this works, if you're not familiar, it is a round robin. Everybody in each block will wrestle each other in each block.
Play the game.
Yes. 30-minute time limit. So it is a 30-minute time limit. So yes, you're getting Okada versus Tanahashi this weekend. It's only 30 minutes.
Dude,
I'm predicting a draw.
It's going to be 30 minutes of a 5-star classic. Yes. I'll bet money.
So 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss. Whoever has the most points on each block will wrestle to win the tournament championship, and the winner gets a New Japan or IWGP Heavyweight Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom 15. Wow.
Wrestle Kingdom is my mecca. I'm going one day.
Now, interesting enough, this show this weekend in Dallas is the only part of the tournament taking place outside of Japan. The rest, of course, is taking place in the land of the rising sun. So
hopefully, and if and I'm doing my best to make it to the press conference and meet and greet. So I'll send everybody pictures.
I'm surprised you don't have a press pass, man. You can get some interviews on your phone. Whatever you got to do.
Hey, if I can, don't tempt me.
Lance Archer can hook you up.
I know. I'm gonna try.
Now, what we're doing today, we'll talk about the tournament. We'll give our predictions for who's going to win the entire tournament. Tina, I will said it from the very beginning, Jon Moxley's going to win the whole thing. That's who she's picking to win. He's the hottest thing, probably the hottest thing in wrestling right now. Even WWE, everyone's talking about it. So he's already the U.S. champion in Japan.
Well, see, that's because Moxley did like not only that, I mean, he left, but he left smart. You know,
he did.
Yeah, so
He did. He finished his contract out.
Yeah,
left on good terms,
he left
you know?
smart.
So, we talked a bit about this. So, I guess whoever wants to start, you're welcome to pick who you think's going to win overall. Who do you think's going to win each block? How do you guys want to?
Do you guys want me to go last? Just
I'll go first. That's
Yeah,
fine,
go for it.
Because I've
This
been
is a
looking
shot
at-
in the dark. It's hard to pick this.
I mean, they're both. I mean, pretty stacked. I mean, we said the other week that I think Block A is a little bit more stacked, but I mean, looking at Block B, it's pretty solid all the way across.
Yep.
I think Block B has more of the heavy hitters. This is the thing.
Well, you got Bad Luck Fale in A though.
That's true.
I'm looking forward to the Moxley Robinson rematch when that happens.
Yeah.
I want to say
Yeah.
it's like
But,
night 3 or 4.
What I honestly think is going to happen is I think it's going to be Ospreay out of Block A, Naito out of Block B, and I think Ospreay is going to win the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. Let's go on Ospreay. Man. I actually think that out of Block B, we're going to get... I don't know.
It's never easy.
It is never
the
easy.
G1 is never easy to pick. I don't think I've ever
Okay.
known who's going to win.
I'm going to
the
go a
G1.
long shot out of Block B. I think Jeff Cobb's going to win Block B.
Ooh, okay.
I think Kota Ibushi's going to win Block A, and Kota Ibushi's going to win the whole tournament. I think we said this last time when we talked about Dominion. I think Ibushi is going to be beating Okada at Wrestle Kingdom for the championship. So,
Oh, nice.
so that's
nice.
why I'm sticking with it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So Kota Ibushi can win the whole thing. So Tina went Moxley, Mike went Ospreay. I'm going Ibushi. Tommy, who you got? Don't be
Okay.
copying us this time.
Well, I actually am going to copy you because I'm going to say Ibushi in A.
Okay.
But out of Block B, honestly, because of what I saw when he returned and took out Jay White, I'm picking Goto to win Block B.
Okay.
And then Ibushi's going to win the whole thing.
All right. So
My-
you're copying me.
However, I am questioning if Okada will make it to Wrestle Kingdom as champion this year. Because and the reason I'm saying that is because if he doesn't make it as champion, like say, because my prediction could be that Sonata could avenge his loss for the championship back at it wasn't Dominion. Was it Dominion? No, it wasn't Dominion. I forget what it was. Because the Dominion he beat freaking Jericho.
Yeah.
But I predict Sonata could avenge his loss, and this time, and either Sonata or Naito could actually beat Okada before we get to Wrestle Kingdom and be in the main event. Because my prediction is this will be the first year that neither Okada or Tanahashi will main event Wrestle Kingdom, and this will be the first time in like 8 years. Like
Wow.
8 years that because like
That's like saying John Cena's not in the main event of WrestleMania.
Or Hulk Hogan throughout the 80s.
Yeah,
right?
really.
seriously. But you know what was funny is remember when AJ Styles won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship?
Yeah.
That was the first time neither Tanahashi or Okada had that belt in like 4 or 5 years.
I believe it.
Because that for like a 4 or 5 year period, those two kept trading the belt back and forth, and it wasn't until Styles finally stopped that train that one of them didn't have it.
Now, one interesting thing, you mentioned that, of course, we mentioned there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much every 5 single title holders in here.
Yeah.
Ishii, Moxley, Naito, Ospreay, and Okada all hold singles titles within New Japan.
Yeah.
If they lose a match within this tournament, they pretty much, that's like a proving ground thing. Then that
It's
person
like a proving
gets a title
ground thing.
shot.
It's a title shot that happens like I think after the G1's over.
So you think Sonata can beat him, get a proving ground, and beat him again?
I think he can.
Okay.
Well, and the only reason I'm saying that is because they have been building up Sonata pretty heavy over the past few years because they made it a huge deal when he showed up. Like when LIJ was really just starting and Sonata showed up, it was a big deal. It was like what, Sonata's here, and because like he pretty much had a guaranteed job with Wrestle One with Keiji Muto's company. So when he jumped ship, it actually was a big deal. Like no one actually expected that. They thought he was just gonna just make his money there and just stay there. Mm-hmm. Actually, the same with Shingo Takagi when he left Dragon Gate. No one thought that was even possible to make Shingo leave Dragon Gate because that was like not his company, but it essentially kind of was. Yep. So that's why I'm thinking like it's not like they could be pushing him because and for one, his match with Okada was a huge deal. Like the fact that he pushed Okada to the limit of nearly beating him, even Okada acknowledging him as a worthwhile rival. I mean, this is the same guy who had how many 5-star matches with Tanahashi, and he acknowledged Sonata as
more than one.
Probably more. Like, what's funny? All the 5-star matches that Misawa still has more. Misawa Misawa is still the wrestler with the most record for 5-star matches ever. So
that's why Meltzer started going 6-star, 7-star.
7 stars.
Yeah.
It's just, but I mean. That's the scenario I could see. Like if it doesn't happen, I mean I won't be disappointed because it's New Japan. I'm more than positive whatever we get is going to be amazing. But it's this is going to be. Oh man, I'm so happy I'm going to this.
Yeah, before we go on, I want to add one more thing.
What's up?
I predict Ospreay, and he's going to win the final with a curb stomp.
Ooh.
That's right. Continue that feud.
Yes. I hope. Now I suddenly hope
Can
I'm
I change
wrong
my pick now? That's a great idea.
That's what he uses a curb
Or
stomp.
disarm him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Disarm?
man. He's got to win a bunch of matches that way. That would be great. That would be awesome. I ain't gonna lie. That'd be awesome.
So I don't know.
I actually hope that happens now.
So I don't know if we talked about this, but I don't know if we want to cover this. But the other thing that happened with New Japan just over the weekend with Betrayals and Bullet Club.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Robbie Eagles has defected from Bullet Club to Chaos.
Okay.
He defended Ospreay after their match and turned on Bullet Club to join Chaos.
Now Tamatonga.
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 Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not from Alabama.
I think he put a tweet out there, come join Bullet Club, will make you famous or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Join Bullet Club will make you famous. Hey, that's an entirely accurate statement.
Yeah. So we'll have the details later on how you can watch the G1 Climax Tournament. Stay tuned. For now, though, we're going to move on to Impact Slammiversary. It has been a long time since we've gotten so excited for an Impact pay-per-view.
I still want to go to this. I'm trying.
First of all, Tommy's conflicted because he's going to be in Dallas for New Japan. The very next day,
and
Impact's going to be in Dallas.
And I might have to come back to San Antonio, and I don't know if I want to.
You can come over here and watch it. We're going to have it here.
I want to be live.
Great build up. I've been watching the weekly shows on Twitch. I love it on Twitch. I love it because there's no commercials. But when they do have the commercial breaks, you're getting kind of a live update, a little bit of commentary, a little bit of extra stuff as well. They did this past week. We're showing some classic Monsters Ball matches as well, which is really cool.
I always love Monsters Ball matches because those were always like a big fight feel. Like those felt like the matches that really mattered when it was a Monsters.
Remind me, have they done it with the women before? I can't recall.
I don't think so.
Sure she was involved.
She was involved with one.
It
was a mixed tag.
That was a mixed tag one.
Yeah,
But I think he means like all women.
Just all women.
Oh no.
Yeah. So hers was a mixed tag.
check real
Raven,
quick,
Abyss. Who was the other one?
Stevie Richards. No,
Richards was involved. Well.
Are you
Karen
saying
Terrell was the other woman, I think it was.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to be making our picks for this. There's 7 matches on the card. They haven't made any announcement of a pre-show. Of course, there is one more episode of Impact to air this Friday on Pursuit, if your cable provider still has it. And, of course, on Twitch, you can watch it for free. So while Tommy's checking up on something here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they've ever had an all. Oh, I think they have. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
There's a lot of history about this.
Yeah, there's been a wow. That's a lot more than I thought. Oh no, wait, they did have one. It was Taylor Wilde versus Daphne. It was a Monsters Ball match.
Oh, okay,
well there you go.
Taylor Wilde. Yeah.
And sorry,
it was Taylor Wilde and Abyss.
Taylor Wilde and Abyss versus Raven and Daphne with Dr. Stevie.
That's right, Dr. Stevie.
So once again, shout out to Daphne.
So Daphne's been in 2 of them.
I love Daphne so much.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
she's awesome. So
always the biggest smile on her face.
Come back to San Antonio.
Yes.
Please do.
Mike needs another picture every show he wants.
Yeah, no kidding.
even if it's like literally if it's just a visit, say hi, do an autograph signing. Please come back to San Antonio.
Please do. All right, Slammiversary. Here's our match predictions. Here we're going to go through this one at a time. First off, the biggest surprise was somebody who came back.
And Jay too. They had one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For the Knockout Championship.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Jade with the blue hair.
Yes. Now, Rob Van Dam, who looks great, because the last time we really saw him on TV, he looked like he let himself go a little bit. That onesie was fitting a little tight.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
some states, it started becoming legal in a few states.
He moved over there. Yeah, you know. But he's back, and he is wrestling Moose. Tina's picking Moose. I'm picking Moose.
I'm picking Moose.
I'm picking Rob Van Dam.
Aha.
I'm ride or die.
You're going to ride or die all the ECW.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an interesting match. I wouldn't doubt if this does actually start the show.
I wouldn't either.
Pretty high hitting. I mean, you're going to see a lot of crazy spots. I think Moose is going to never really wanted to show off his aerial game. We might get a little bit more of that.
You might, yeah. I think he will just so he can show up Rob Van Dam.
If Moose hits a 5-star frog splash, I'm being like,
If he hits a 5-star front splash, I'm
Star
leaving.
Moose Splash?
Even if I'm at the show, if I see Moose while I'm at the show do a 5-star frog splash, I'm just gonna walk out the building. You know what? I'm going home. Forget this.
I'm done. Now
It's over.
The
It's
most
over.
recent match they announced is a first blood match. Killer Cross and Eddie Edwards. This one has been set up for a good while now. And of course, I asked my wife, "Who are you picking on this one?" She's like, "Come on, yeah." She's taking Eddie Edwards. She loves Eddie Edwards.
You know what's funny? I read this too fast. Almost said first blood match for Sammy Callahan and Tessa Blanchard. I was like,
It may
yes,
get to that one day.
Yes,
It may get to that.
She's down.
yeah, she is. That's why I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Probably kick Sammy's ass. That's
She probably would.
I'm gonna go with Eddie Edwards as well. He's got Kenny back. He got Kenny back. His kendo stick. So this feud has been built up really well. But I'm liking Eddie Edwards in this one. So Tommy, who you got?
I got Eddie Edwards. I'm American Wolves mark ride or die with Eddie Edwards. So and plus, like you said, they've been building us up well, and I like Crazy Eddie. Like I didn't think I'd like Crazy Eddie Edwards, but I do. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, Tina says she's not as cute, but yeah, it's fine. She still loves Eddie Edwards. Mike, who you got?
I think I'm going to lone wolf this and go Killer Cross.
All right.
What else? Dude, whatever's with our
Like
choices
the
so
first
far
of many
today.
matches between them. Is that what you're thinking?
No, I just kind of feel like Slammiversary, you're trying to reinvent Impact to a sense. So I think, I don't know, my thought is to maybe go with some of the more younger talent, the ones that haven't been there as much. And, you know, Eddie's a pretty, good veteran. Like you said, he had his long run with the American Wolves.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just kind of my thought. I could be completely wrong.
I hope when he retires, he opens a wrestling school because Eddie Edwards is just has too much knowledge about wrestling
definitely.
to not. Because a lot of guys when they retire, they kind of do whatever. But he's one guy who when he retires, I hope opens a school because the next generation could learn so much from him. The current generation could learn so much from him.
Now, Sammy Callahan versus Tessa Blanchard.
This is hard.
And I like that they are doing an intergender match here. Impact has been no stranger to this. They haven't shied away from this at all. OVE, of course, was running intergender matches with Scarlett Bordeaux before Scarlett Bordeaux was let go of her contract. So, but Tessa, ever since Gail put her over at the last pay-per-view, has really been hot.
Yeah, she's
That's the only reason? Just because?
No, but ever since then,
I'm just
she's turned back face. She feuded a lot with I forget what his name is now in Impact, with the former Disco Inferno, which was a hilarious little feud.
Glenn Gilberti.
Glenn Gilberti.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank
Yes.
you. I actually forgot to. I knew his name, and I forgot to.
Stick to Disco. It would have been hilarious. But yeah, that was.
I couldn't believe those pants still fit him. I really couldn't. I was like, dude, Glenn, you been doing DDP yoga? You get back in those pants, bro?
Apparently, if you ever listen to Keeping It 100 or those guys, he's like managing a strip club in L.A. or not L.A. Vegas. It's like what he does with his off time. So
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
that sounds like
That
disco.
is funny.
Now, I should note, of course, that where is it? There's going to be an event here with RCW and Impact on Friday. It is going to be available on Impact Plus. We'll get to how it's a little deal that they're going to have with Impact Plus later. And Tessa Blanchard is on that card. And my God, first off, this card is loaded.
I know.
And where is it? Tessa. Oh my God, there's so many matches.
That being said, VIP in Dallas is also loaded that Friday night too. So I'm okay.
Tessa Blanchard,
right.
Willie Mack, and Rich Swann will be battling OVE. So a little precursor to the event on Sunday. So Tina picked Tessa. I'm picking Tessa as well. This would really solidify her as a big face as well. So I'm going with Tessa Blanchard on this one. So Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm still thinking.
I'm actually picking Sammy, and
right.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Okay.
So I think OVE is going to get involved some kind of way, and Sammy's going to win. Now that being said, I think Tessa's going to come out of this looking even more like a diamond than she already is.
Mm-hmm.
But I see shenanigans with Sammy.
See, that's what I was debating, and I think I'm going to go with Tommy. I think it's going to be one of the things where Sammy comes out with the actual win, but like you said, like I think Tessa's going to come out looking like she should have won and like the stronger person in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Sammy doesn't care about looking quote unquote weak. He just cares about winning.
Right.
Do you think Tessa's going to be more involved wrestling men after this match and possibly making a run at any more men's titles, or do you think she's sticking straight to the knockouts division?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it would be more to stay in the women's division until certain things come up, like maybe once in a while, not a consistent basis. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I'm with Mike. I think it's more of a once in a while thing, not really consistent, no.
All right. On to the title match on the card. First, the X Division Championship. Rich Swann, the champion, defending against Johnny Impact. Tina is going with Johnny Impact. I'm actually 50-50 on this, so I'm going to go last. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to go with Rich Swann to retain. Again, just I think where I'm kind of going this for the most part is, again, Johnny Impact, Johnny, whatever my last name is this week. Again,
Johnny Mundo.
He's a veteran. It would look good for Swan to get a win over him on a Slammiversary. So again, kind of solidify him as part of this new class of Impact wrestlers.
Johnny Jangle Jingleheimer Schmidt.
That's my name too.
Hey,
right?
Nailed it.
Someone did that, right? Some wrestlers. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going Rich Swann. Only because I just how they've been building him up. Like he even pinned Elgin during a tag team match. I think that's long ago.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
So I just think like they're now like they're just like putting a lot behind him. And I like it. I think he was kind of unceremoniously cast out of WWE for some random reason.
Well, there was some misunderstanding apparently.
Yeah.
I think Swan's going to win, but I think it's going to be like a DQ finish where like Johnny Impact gets like disqualified or something.
Oh, okay.
Like blatant, chair shot or something like that.
Kicks him in the crotch, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he's just going to get frustrated and just do that. Impact, of course, it won't be the end of this feud. Impact is saying he wants to have won all the gold or be one of those Grand Slam champions in Impact. So
he wants to be Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, right. Or AJ Styles.
Well, okay. There's a difference between being a Grand Slam champion and then just having all the gold.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Put your face in my world.
Didn't you hate that song when it came
I
out?
did, but now I love it.
Yeah.
He was the Triple H of TNA.
Yeah.
He was, and you hated him for it, but he was so good at it. All right, Impact Tag Team Championship, LAX, Ortiz and Santana versus the Rascals. Now, we don't know which team of the Rascals are going to be in
this is so hard.
because they are actually going to have a triple threat match against each other this Friday on Impact on the weekly show. Whoever gets pinned is not going to be wrestling in this match at Slammiversary.
Wait, a triple threat or
Between Xavier, Trey Miguel,
okay,
and Wentz, they're going to wrestle each other this Friday.
I was reading this wrong, and I thought there was a fourth name. I was like, wait, there's okay.
Yeah. So they're going to wrestle each other. Whoever gets pinned is going to be at ringside and will not be a part of the tag team match. So interesting to me because honestly, right now, the Rascals, the way they wrestle as a 6-man tag team, I think they're damn near unbeatable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They just wrestled this past Friday against LAX and Laredo Kid. Speaking of Laredo
I think
Kid,
they have one this coming. Is that what you're saying? This coming Friday at the show, they have a
I think they're in there as well.
6-man. I think.
Yeah, it's against Palmer, Dalton.
Yeah, it's the local guys, right?
Yeah.
Palmer, Dalton,
Palmer, Dalton, and Steve Areno.
And Steve Areno.
Yeah. So that's going to be good too.
That's gonna be real good.
See if Palmer, Dalton, and Steve Areno can keep up.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. As far as this match itself, I am going with LAX. I'm wearing the shirt for crying out loud. Even though it is the new LAX, I think these guys, first of all, they're one of the hottest tag teams in Impact.
This isn't Hernandez. No, I'm just kidding.
Duh. This is first of all, Impact. These guys are the hottest tag team in Impact right now. So much so that rumored that their contracts will be coming up in a few months, and both AEW and WWE are
saw
going to be
that,
making a
yeah.
major play for them
For LAX?
for LAX.
Yeah.
They should.
Of course, WWE, of course, is doing it because they're trying to sign everybody so
Yeah.
that AEW doesn't have it. AEW, of course, is trying to build up a legit tag team division,
Which is fair.
They're doing a pretty good job of
Yeah, I'll
it.
say.
So, I do and I don't want them to leave Impact. I think LAX
Yeah, I
is
was
a-
actually thinking of that. I was like, oh, I get
LAX
it. But
is a big Impact staple.
yeah, actually, when you said that, I was like, oh, that's cool for them. I don't.
Yeah,
want them
you
to
know,
go.
I'm kind of interested. I mean, does Conan go with them too? You know,
I'd like to see them spend a few more years there and
Yeah.
solidify themselves and help
yeah.
Impact kind of get
I think if they stayed there, they could
stable
raise
again.
raise their rates.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
if they stay
seriously.
longer.
My hope, well, hopefully, if they Impact re-signs them, I hope they can afford them. My hope is that yes, they do build up, and maybe one day, years from now, when AEW is a bit more established, AEW can host a big, major tag team tournament, and invite tag teams from all over the world, not necessarily AEW.
They used to do that a long time ago.
Yeah.
it was
Well, some promotions used to do that.
it was the TNA World Cup. They did that. That's how Team Canada got there and stayed.
I hope AEW does that, and they'll invite Guerrillas of Destiny. They'll invite some of the big
the gorillas.
Yeah.
Okay.
they'll invite tag teams from Ring of Honor, Villain Enterprises. You'll get some tag teams from Impact as well, and have a big tournament World Cup kind of thing. A true
FTR.
World Cup involving talent from all over the world, not just the United States. Throwing it out there.
won by the boss's son.
Yes. So Tina and I are both going LAX.
One of the best
I'm
in
gonna
the
go with LAX
world.
too.
CM
Mike?
Shane McMahon. Sorry, what did I say? Sorry, what did I say?
Tell me who you got.
I'm going LAX, and can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
So again, I was at another AAW show in Austin. So it was during intermission, right? And I was in line for the meet and greet. I was going to go meet LAX, and they had just finished. Like just before intermission was a match they had with the Rascals with Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz. We were over by the far wall. Rascals were over on the ring. And they started yelling at LAX. I was next in line to meet them, and they started yelling. And I was like, okay. So out of nowhere, here come Xavier and Wentz over to them, and they start fighting.
Please tell me you joined in.
I got the crap out of that way. Okay, so...
No autograph.
Actually, I did get a picture. It's on my Facebook now, and if you see it, I actually explained on there the reason they look like they do. They literally just had a fight not 30 seconds before this.
How great is that, man?
I was literally like, "Whoa, dude!" Actually, some of my jackass friends was like saying, "Get Tommy, he's right there. I am not in this." But it was
that guy.
Yeah, actually, I did hear that. It was a great moment. That's and hopefully, I hope this can be that kind of feud with them, where they legit want to just rip each other apart every chance
awesome.
they get. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Tag
Yes.
team is great. So
good
tag team matches have been still on the show recently in Impact, so we'll see.
Yep.
Now, we mentioned the Monsters Ball, Impact Knockouts Championship. Now, while women have been involved in Monsters Ball before, I don't think it's ever been a Fatal 4.
I double checked.
No.
It's never been Fatal 4.
Yeah, so this is Taya Valkyrie, who looks scared shitless to be defending her title in this kind of
She
match.
does. She really
does. Against Rosemary, a Monsters Ball veteran,
Yeah.
Su Young, and Jessica Havoc.
It's not fair.
Tina is picking Su Young
Really?
to get the title back. And I'm actually going to go with Rosemary on this one. So
I don't know.
I would say it's a coin flip, but you need
Did you guys
multiple coin flips, really?
Did you guys ever see the picture, the poster I made for Jessica Havoc years ago?
Which
I don't remember.
I printed out the Umbrella Corporation logo and glued it to the middle, and I put Jessica Havoc, "Will you marry me?" And she wrote
about right.
and she wrote on it, "I'll think about it."
Yeah.
And me and my friends chanted, "It's not a no. It's not a no. It's not a no."
I think Sammy came in eventually and said, "Nah."
Yeah.
At this,
Sadly.
no, I wouldn't ask her
Baseball
again.
to the
yeah, I would get a baseball to the face, then power driven, and then Lagaya would kill me. Anyway.
Well, now.
Well, now.
I think if any title's going to change hands, this is the match
Yeah,
where you see
actually,
it
yeah.
could most likely happen. Is any of y'all picking a title change, or any y'all sticking with Taya? Who you got?
No. I think I'm going to go with Tina on this one and go Su Young.
All right.
Actually, I think I'm going Rosemary.
Wow.
Poor
So
Jessica
because
Havoc.
Jessica Havoc did not agree to marry you fully, you're not picking her.
Jessica, I still love you. Please don't show up and murder me in my sleep. Well, if you show up in my room randomly, what can I do?
And if they follow the rules, they'll have been sequestered for
24 hours
before the match.
And I really hope they do at least kayfabe that a bit.
Yeah. so Ty could walk out like disoriented.
For real.
No.
Taya would have to look like freaked out because she's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
She'd have to look like Chelsea Green when she used to play the hot mess.
Yes.
Dude, that was man. I'm picking Rosemary because she's a veteran of this, and I think that they've been building. I think they've been building her back
honestly,
up to win the belt.
Like it really is a flip of the coin, if you will, a 4-sided coin. But
and isn't that really great that we can do that again with a Impact match?
Definitely, and we're getting a kind of a preview of this Friday at RCW. Rosemary versus Su Yung is happening.
Yeah,
and then Jessica Havoc is wrestling Jordan Grace as well.
So, a little plug here for all my San Antonio faithful. Branded Outlaw Wrestling, July 21st. We will be having Rosemary versus Su Yung.
Oh, nice.
You never can go wrong with that match. I don't care how many times
you can't.
They're always doing something different.
You can't. I think because the both of them are so committed to their gimmick.
Yes,
they're committed to like. Just I love like that's one reason I want to meet Rosemary and tell her this. Her commitment to the gimmick reminds me of like old school Undertaker commitment to his gimmick, and I love that. She is in this mode, and it's great.
Definitely.
The whole dark, like the whole alternate dimension thing they did when they were like with Allie and Kiera Hogan went in there, and she was like, "You should not be here." I was like, this is the greatest movie that's never been made. I was like, where is this actual feature film? I will legitimately watch it.
Maybe one day.
One day. Because James Mitchell has to be in it.
Oh, yeah. We were commenting that, too, on Friday, seeing James Mitchell on TV again. It was like, man.
I love that guy.
Raven's still a little mad at him because he messed up his hair and sliced up his head.
And threw a fireball in his face multiple times.
Now, the main event, Impact World Championship.
Whoo!
I put Brain Cage. Brian Cage. Sorry. Typo. Autocorrect. Whatever.
The brain.
The
brain.
brain.
He's smart.
Yes. Narf. I had a Narf moment. Brian Cage defending against Michael Elgin. Tina's picking Michael Elgin. I'm also going with Big Michael Elgin. Now we got Big Mike over here. Is he also taking Big Mike Elgin?
No, I'm going to stick with Cage.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Tommy.
I'm going Cage too.
Okay. This is interesting.
We are split with this one. I don't see. Okay, so again,
Tina just can't stand Brian Cage.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She's just. I don't know. It's like.
Okay. Well, that's her
spectacular,
thing. Okay. So I like the unpredictability that TNA has again. Like it's gone back. It's gotten back to where the matches are unpredictable. You don't really know what's going to happen next, and that works.
I think from a storyline wise, why I think Elgin could win this is Cage is coming off an injury. He was supposedly just recently medically cleared. Yeah. And I think Elgin's going to, first of all, making that big debut that he did at Rebellion, you got to run some momentum on this. You can't have him make such a big splash, big debut, and not have him win the title, at least in my opinion.
Unless Cage wins it and not in like a big way. Let's see, because Cage isn't above
like
a roll up.
Fluke roll up?
Like he just rolls him up real quick and wins that way.
The new Mr. Small Package?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Melissa Santos. Who, I mean, even if he calls himself that, he kind of wins anyway. It's like, hey, he's Mr. Small Package who's married.
Careful, Paul Smackage might have some beef with him.
Oh God.
Also, this reminds me of one of the favorite videos I've ever seen that Cole Cabana put up years ago from an indie show where he was there with Brian Cage. Brian Cage was so muscular. He put a piece of tape on his back on the side, and he could not reach it to take it off because his muscles are just so. I'm
gonna find that.
They're at the merch table, whatever. Cabana's like, and he's like, and he can't reach it because he's just too big.
Having stood next to Brian Cage several times over my life, you don't appreciate the fact that man could probably legitimately take your head off with a lariat if he felt like it for real until you're next to him, and then you're like, oh, you can.
But you could tape a $100 bill to his back, you wouldn't be able to reach it.
Well, he could punch you and make you do it.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Cage. I'm sorry, Mr. Cage. That is funny though.
I'm looking forward to this show this weekend.
Yeah,
as more and more matches.
So whether I'm there live or whether I'm here watching it with you guys, it's gonna be fun.
All right. So that is our preview for Slammiversary. Let us know your picks. Tweet at us, comment here. Let us know. So Before we get to 1 minute warning, some big WWE news. This has kind of been the biggest thing talked about. We have new executive directors for Raw and SmackDown. Raw, of course, is basically, I'm guessing they're doing creative as well. We kind of saw.
I would hope so.
Paul Heyman is the executive director for Raw, and Eric Bischoff on SmackDown.
Personally, I would have reversed that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
They said one of the main reasons was Bischoff's, since SmackDown's going to Fox, he's also going to have to be the liaison with
that's
network
that's
executives,
a good point.
and
That's a good point.
he has the experience from TNT.
Although I've heard Fox had no idea this was going to happen, and I think they preferred Heyman from what report I'm reading, but we'll see.
That's shocking, actually.
Yeah,
What?
and as quickly as that was announced, I'm getting an email because Tina, myself, and we're taking our daughter to SmackDown tomorrow. It's going to be here in San Antonio. We're filming this on a Monday night. And there's the email with Eric Bischoff's face right on it. It's like, man, they move quick, getting him back in WWE and onto TV. So
by the time you watch this, you'll know if anything happens.
yeah. I will say that Raw, from the very get-go, had Heyman written all over it from a creative standpoint.
Yeah, I didn't.
Strowman and Lashley like destroying the set to the point where even Corey Graves on commentary did mute his audio, yelled "Holy shit" on TV. So
Nice.
Nice. It's funny, but it's also like this is how PG they've gotten that we're like, he said that.
yeah, I know we've got that, but I mean, you never hear that stuff.
No,
but
yeah,
even
Yeah.
that just those sort of things, you hear that. The match quality's been a little better. The backstage promo's a little bit better.
Mike and Maria are on there with a storyline apparently.
Yeah. How?
I don't know what's going on there, but I'm in.
Yeah. We'll see what goes on. I mean, they're really pushing this up. Of course, Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Corbin and Lacey Evans has been turned into a Extreme Rules mixed tag match.
What's the pay-per-view name? Oh,
Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, gotta call it.
but I was actually very happy to see this. We have, a lot of people have not been happy with the creative direction of WWE, saying it's gotten stale, it's gotten boring.
I think.
I read one thing.
We can lessen the 2 out of 3 matches, people. Okay,
Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls things.
I read something Paige said. She said talking to creators sometimes is like talking to a brick wall. I was like, oh my god, because she says he has all these ideas for Asuka and Kyrie, but like she said, she can't get them through.
Yeah, and maybe they're taking what Moxley said on the Jericho podcast to heart. Maybe they're starting to see some of the flaws they have in their creative process.
And and again, like I said, no one's gonna take out WWE overnight. AEW needs years and years to even remotely touch that. But at the same time, I do appreciate that the somewhat nervousness Vince has is making him kind of step his game up. Because I would rather he step his game up now than years later when they're actually about to go bankrupt and lose to AEW.
I mean, most empires fall from within, not from outside.
This is true.
I will say this: the Raw after FyterFest, way better than the Raw's response to Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there.
I think
a lot
because
more wrestling on TV, a lot more entertainment.
I think it scared Vince because they did all that for a free show.
Yes.
you said that, but you haven't watched the 30-minute Corbin segment yet. So.
Oh boy.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not that much. So.
Hope as long as he's not on Twitter right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to check. I'm actually going to load the stopwatch because it is time for
1 minute warning.
I can't make that.
That was
nice
nice.
sound
What
effects.
was
That's
that?
pretty good.
It's like the air horn noise. I
Yeah,
can't
no, that's pretty good.
All right. For those new to the show who haven't seen it before, 1 minute warning is basically like a minute where we can just talk about everything. Anything and everything that we want for a minute. Everything's fair game pretty much.
Wait, I thought it was a minute where we get to hit each other. Just all right, man.
The water bottle. That's why I was drinking this water bottle. Anyway. Mike,
the day you hit that camera is the day I'm going to call the show.
Who was it, like David Letterman that used to throw the pencils at the camera? One of the late night talk shows.
I think it was
he threw the pencil, and then, of course, we watch Around the Horn.
I remember Drew
Tony Reale throws the paper at the camera. At the
I remember
very
when
end.
Drew Carey would throw the scenes from a hat at the camera.
Oh, yeah.
He
He almost
knocked
did it a
over.
few times.
Whose line is it anyway? He knocked over.
So, Mike, you mentioned you had some idea for 1 minute warning already. We
Yeah.
were talking. So, if you're ready to go.
Sure.
Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, so we were talking about the unprotected chair shot to the head from earlier, and what it just kind of made me think of is one thing I do feel bad for the modern era of wrestling is if you're around our age or even a little bit younger, you grew up with ECW and the Attitude Era, and they were violent and they had real hardcore matches, And I understand why they changed some of that stuff, but I really feel like that plays a part into why it's harder to get over and have superstars like you did, because the things they did back then really did seem larger than life. I mean, you think about, even though it was unintended, the Undertaker and Mankind and the stuff that happened on there, and then even later the Triple H Mankind Cactus Jack matches, like they were violent, they did the thumbtacks and all that stuff, and you can't really do that now. And as much as I understand that's not wrestling, it's something that really sticks with you, and it keeps in mind. So, when you see stuff like that now, like you said, if it's once in a while, it has the impact. And so I'm running over time, but yeah, I understand why it's harder now, because they were able to do those stuff back in the day, and you can't now.
It's a new element to it.
Yep.
So, yep. Tom, you ready? If you have anything.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll go the full minute, but yeah, I got
Okay.
something.
Ready? Go.
Okay, so let's just I just want to say this new era of wrestling is just great. Like, we're entering this era where, not only does WWE have like main competition like directly with AEW, and not even like more indirectly than more than anything, but you got Ring of Honor building themselves back up. You got Impact making a comeback. You got New Japan spreading worldwide. They were just in Australia, and now their very next tour kicks off in the United States. They hadn't even been back to Japan yet, and their next tour is kicking off in the States. But this is a great era for wrestling. So now everyone who wants to complain about this or that, okay, if you want to complain about something, fine, complain about it. But guess what? Watch something else. And everyone, and like I said, when we talked about Stardom and everything, give companies you hear about a chance. You hear me talking about Stardom? Look up Stardom. They've got great matches. Look up anybody. I mean, like a lot of places have their own version of the network. Look them up. It's great. It's a great time for wrestling. You want to be a wrestling fan? Cool. Find a company.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
You mentioned looking up wrestling. I guess that kind of plays into what I'm saying.
Okay. Cool.
A little while ago, a few months ago, I did an interview with Brandon Oliver, and I want to congratulate him for getting this Impact show with his name on it. If you go to the Impact Wrestling website, look at events, Bash at the Brewery, RCW logo is right there with the Impact logo, and it's going to be live on Impact Plus. If you haven't subscribed to Impact Plus yet, stay tuned. Check out the website. They're going to be opening it up very soon. They might even have it open now by the time we post this. If you pre-order Slammiversary on Impact Plus, you get 3 free months of Impact Plus. It's normally a service that's $7.99 a month. You can pay for the full year for $72, I believe it is. And they do a lot, not just Impact shows. They do a lot of shows for different promotions around the country, around the world. And RCW is getting showcased on that this Friday. It's going to be a show on there. So if you're not in the San Antonio area, or you're not able to make this show for whatever reason, you can watch it on Impact Plus. It's going to be a great show. Congrats, Brandon. We're looking forward to seeing it. Hope it goes well for you. So it's a lot of eyes and ears on your show.
On Texas.
On Texas, of course.
Hey, I'm just looking for Texas to be the next, I mean, it kind of already is, but like, come on. We're getting New Japan kicks off the G1. Slammiversary is here this year.
It's a hub, man.
ROH constantly comes back again. If I'm the reason for that, thank God.
Work your magic for New Japan to come over here.
Yeah,
dude, don't you know I'm trying? Don't you know I'm already
get him in the Freeman Coliseum.
Bro, if I do,
awesome.
I will sleep outside the arena to get in first. It's like, sir, they will be here for 2 more months. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Go to sleep there every night. Hey, Bob. Hey, Tommy. Okay.
And you know what? The brewery show on Friday, I was at I don't know if it was, might have been the last time, but
it was the last time.
The first time they were there, yeah, I was at the show. And again, it's just funny. If you listen to Cabana's podcast, the next week after that show, he did his stuff, and he talked with the Biss at the beginning, and they were just like, "Yo, dude, there's just beer, all there's big vats around it." Like,
yeah,
it really is. Like if you saw the video, it's just in a brewery, and there's like vats behind them, and there's like stacks of like cases and stuff. Like it's interesting.
That's awesome.
But I look forward to it.
I wonder if somebody gets thrown into a barrel at this show.
Sammy Callahan's there.
It's
almost a guarantee. It's almost a guarantee that it's going to happen.
I remember hearing that podcast, and they were just amazed that they got a freaking wrestling ring into a brewery. It's for Colt Cabana to say that's a first for him. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So
yeah, if you listen to he's wrestled everywhere and anything, and outside, inside, and
Some
never
of
a
the most
brewery.
random
until-
places, never in a brewery, exactly. So, one thing I will mention though, stay tuned to Hybrid. I also did interview that. They're going to be doing some student shows very, very soon.
I can't wait.
Chris Marvel. I hope we're on the list of fans because we really want to be there. So good luck. We'll go easy on your students, kinda.
No, I will not. They
Tommy
must
never goes easy on wrestlers.
They must learn the hard way. It's a trial by fire.
You
boys
know,
and girls.
Seriously, if you could deal with Tommy ringside at one of your matches,
That's one way
you
to get
could
ready.
Make it.
If you can do me ringside at one of your matches, congratulations. You deserve to be.
I know
Ring of Honor World
Tacos and Tapas wants to be a part of it too, so we'll get Professor, myself, and maybe the rest of the Mafia guys together. We'll go a little crazy. We'll see.
Oh my
But-
God! The 5150
50
Mafia
reunion.
That reunion. Oh
Haven't
my
been together
God!
in a while, yeah. So
Paper champion.
Okay, first of all, let's call a spade here. If I was bad alone, you guys were an army of me's.
yeah, I guess you could say that. We weren't as bad as TFY.
No, oh
One
God.
choke out later, they disappeared off the ridge forever.
Yes.
That was the funniest thing.
That was. Dude's an idiot.
Dude, the security grounded so quick. I can still vividly see that in my mind all these years later. There's so many things in my mind that are fuzzy, but him being dragged by security is one of the most vivid images in my head.
Never saw those guys again.
Nope.
Nope.
That was it. That was
Enjoyed
the last
it.
time.
That was fun.
Oh, well.
On to wrestling this weekend. It's going to be on what we just talked about. New Japan's G1 Climax Tournament runs from July 6th through August 12th. Now, I think it's like 14 total shows where they put all this together.
Yeah.
The full schedule, you can check NJPW1972.com for all the dates.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, this entire thing is going to be on the New Japan World subscription that you have, $9.99 a month. It is free with that subscription. So if you're really interested in this tournament, there's no better time than now to subscribe. Thanks for letting me use your login while you're going to be at the show this weekend. Appreciate it. Impact Slammiversary, Sunday, July 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't believe there's a pre-show attached to this. If there is, it'll probably start at 6:30. Might just be a lot of talking. Stay tuned to Impact's Twitch channel for that. They'll probably have the pre-show on that. Their Twitch channel, and they also have a channel on Pluto TV, which is also free. It runs 24/7. They show a lot of classic pay-per-views, classic matches, and of course the weekly show. So check that out. It's very cool to watch.
Channel on Pluto has their weekly show too.
I don't know if it don't show it live, but they
they'll
do
show
have
it
they'll
like-
show
oh,
like
okay.
delayed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that of all things, I was starting up for Pluto. Like, let me see what this thing has. Impact.
We bought a smart TV last year and it has it on there. I've never looked at it because it was all random channels.
They got some pretty interesting channels. A lot of stuff. I mean, some mainstream channels, but a lot of it's just like tape delayed
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And also this weekend in Dallas, because there's a show on RCW for Friday, but in Dallas on Friday, VIP Wrestling will have the OGs, LAX, Crime Time. And Sunday right before Slammiversary, Lions Pride Sports will be having a show as well.
It's a busy weekend,
It's
man,
gonna be
for wrestling.
busy. I don't, my wallet will never be the same.
And honestly, for the whole week in Texas, I mean, Raw, of course, was tonight in Dallas at the
SmackDown.
same arena that SmackDown's going to be here in San Antonio. We're going to that, as I mentioned. So back to Impact Slammiversary. It's at Gillies Dallas and Gillies Texas. Pay-per-view, Fight TV, or Impact Plus, it is $40. And as I mentioned, if you pre-order Slammiversary on the Impact Plus app, it should be available now, you get 3 months of Impact Plus for free.
I might do that. I'm actually considering that.
So it's not worth. I mean, give it a shot.
Yeah.
See what you like. You know, how long has it been since we got excited about Impact pay-per-view?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's this excited
Like-
since
like-
we used
like
to always
the-
get together at your place to
Yeah,
watch it.
the last this
It's in a
one
different place back then.
Yeah, I know.
Literally.
seriously, like this one, the last Impact review were actually really hyped. I was hyped for.
I've been saying it. A buddy Chicken Wing out there has been talking about how his daughter loves Moose ever since they saw him at a Ring of Honor show years ago in San Antonio. And I'm like, hey, she needs to be watching Impact because it's really good. You know, it's gotten better. People have crapped on it for a while. It's really good. I'm
Deservedly
very happy
so,
it's
but
back,
they're working their way back now.
they
so
are. They are.
they kind of earned that crapping on for a minute there.
What are your thoughts on the shows? You can always tweet them at us at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe here to the Countdown to Geeks YouTube channel for more WrestleCast episodes. Tell your friends. Give us a like, subscribe.
Tell your friends. Tell your
Y'all
enemies.
are
Tell
my
your
friends.
acquaintances.
Yes. Comment with your picks. Comment with your thoughts on the show. We'll read some of them when we recap these next week. We'll be recapping Slammiversary next week. Maybe talk a little bit about the G1 and what your experience was. We definitely want to get...
Definitely, yeah.
Tommy's going to be like this the whole show. Because he gets to see Okada and Tanahashi. I'm going to laugh at that. I'm going to laugh if that goes 5 minutes.
Shut up! You shut your whore mouth. Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
We'll be recapping Slammiversary and previewing Can you believe it? We just talked about FyterFest. We'll already be ready to preview Fight for the Fallen and Extreme Rules, which are running next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So already.
Wait. Oh, I didn't realize they were the same weekend.
They are the same weekend. Fight for the Fallen's on Saturday, which is great. I'm glad wrestling pay-per-views are on Saturdays now.
Yeah.
It's not Friday.
No.
Was
Fight for the Fallen?
Is Fight for the Fallen the one that's a like a fundraiser for?
It is a charity event fundraiser.
So isn't Evolve there? Isn't the network? Wasn't there a thing about networks putting Evolve 10th anniversary on?
Yeah, the network, the WWE network is broadcasting Evolve's 10th anniversary show
Saturday?
on Saturday.
I thought I heard it was a Friday. Okay,
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure it's.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to things.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it is on Saturday. That seems to be like AEW's night for shows. So, yeah, Fight for the Fallen and then Extreme Rules. Maybe Evolve. We'll see if there's any Extreme Rules. We'll see. Yeah. Well, we'll see how extreme it gets with Heyman in charge.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? You're right. The extreme possibility factor has gone up.
Before we go, though, I will mention Dave Meltzer mentioned this in this Wrestling Observer newsletter. This is something that Mattman podcast had talked about months ago. You're going to throw the papers. That apparently the date has been set. It's not made official yet, but October 2nd is looking like the date that AEW will be debuting on TNT, which we thought it might be a Tuesday. They were going to take over the vacancy left by SmackDown, but it's going to be on a Wednesday. So AEW could be running on a Wednesday. If that's the case, I'm wondering if they're going to keep running head-to-head head-to-head with NXT, I guess, although NXT's on demand. You can kind of watch it anytime.
Yeah, it's like that's the only thing with that head-to-head thing. That's really subjective in this case.
Tony Khan did confirm it is going to be a 2-hour show. He has said that much on Steve Austin's podcast.
Oh, okay.
It'll be a 2-hour show, which is good. 2 hours is great. So looking forward to it. October 2nd is great. It's pretty much the fallout a month later after All Out. So, and then we'll get into weekly shows and see what kind of pay-per-views they come up with next. So looking forward to it. With that, guys, it's been a great show.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to another great weekend of wrestling. Tommy, have a safe trip.
Thank
have
you.
a lot of fun.
Take lots of pictures.
Lots of pictures.
I'm already trying to figure out how many more batteries I need to buy for my cameras because, geez, man, I'm going to run them out.
You might as well just buy a new phone.
I'm bringing my phone, my cameras. I'm bringing, dude. I don't want to miss a thing.
Just enjoy it. I'm very excited for
He's got like 10
you.
rolls of film. It's great.
Yeah.
I might need to buy extra SD cards. Wait, do I have enough space in those? I might.
Make sure you get a picture of Lance Archer because, damn it, you know he deserves it.
Yeah. All right, I will. I do own.
Thank you, Lance, for getting this guy there.
Yes.
So I'm sure he's very grateful. He's been looking forward to this his whole life. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, leaving here with a smile on his face is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Over here we got Mike.
Thanks.
And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
See ya.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.